is lying. She says, oh no, it has nothing to do with the Nick Shirleys, it has nothing to do with citizen journalists. But when you read the text, it's plain English.
Hello, my name's Jude. You may have seen me briefly in some of David's videos that he would post on his weekly show, or hear him name drop from time to time. I'm one of the closer friends that he kept in his intimate circle. There are a few of us, and I'm going to talk about some of the other people in that circle later in this video. I am going to read some things off my laptop. Unlike David, I'm not great in front of the camera. I'm a photographer by trade, so I'm better behind the camera. If I get emotional and lose it during some parts of this video, I'll apologize ahead of time. The past few days have been incredibly difficult. I know for you all, as well as for the family, obviously. His mother, his father, and his brother. I've been in contact with all of them, and they are doing okay, as well as you could in a situation like this. They're incredibly resilient, beautiful people, just like David. And I've worked closely with them to make sure that the words I say today and fall in line with their wishes as well as David's. Today I'm going to be reading statements from the family and also from David. Believe it or not, the big mic drop here, the big bombshell, is David actually did write a letter. I'm not going to get into real specifics of the more some of the details of what happened. I want to skip out of respect to the family. We will go over an event timeline. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this video or in another video, because I'm still piecing that together along with another good friend of his. I was the last person to talk to David on Monday morning of 420. But there were certainly many conversations leading up to that day. You're all aware of what a great show Sunday was. And I'm going to address some of these topics because there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of internet rumors. The truth is I haven't watched any videos from anybody else at this point because I just wanted to work with the family. So I guess I don't even care what other people are saying. I did hop on the live chat of his last of Sunday's show, and obviously everybody's hurting. There is a lot of speculation, and I'll just say right now we have pretty conclusive proof, written proof. I personally talked to one of the sheriffs at the scene. I've talked to his brother, who talked to the coroner. We have a statement letter both from David's brother as well as David himself. Literally left a message for all of you, his community. Obviously, this is an incredibly difficult video, and for me to talk about it, my mind is going in so many places, so I'm just going to get started. But I'll start with a brief introduction of who I am, and then we can just proceed. And I may or may not finish. We may do some live videos as soon as I have enough subscribers to allow that. and more information from family as we find more things out. His autopsy was released yesterday, and it is confirmed David is no longer with us. Nothing incredibly conspiratorial or it's not cut and dry, and there are many questions which I don't think I can resolve this entire situation today. The two theories that are going on right now are both actually correct. But we'll get into that. Okay, so my friendship with David started in 1988 in high school.
Senator
So we go way
Collins
back.
supports and advocates for...
He's my longest running friend.
cancer research so that people can have better treatments, better outcomes, and live better lives as cancer survivors. Thank you, Senator Collins. Continue fighting for our families.
Base 44 super agents. Careful, there's no going back. No setup. Just say hello.
It was the greatest World Cup finals ever. Wow. Ever. And by the way, that's
Your boy Messi.
That's not just Messi. Mbappe had 3 goals in the flipping finals.
That's unheard
You
of.
gotta read. This is crazy.
That's like hitting 5 home
He
runs.
single-handedly almost beat the GOAT.
And throwing the shutout.
What
Okay?
country is
and if
Mbappe?
it wasn't for the
Is he
France, if Argentina doesn't have the goalie that they have, who is by the way, he was the MVP of the
Yes,
World Cup
I
final.
remember.
If they don't have the goalie, they don't win
They
the
don't.
chip.
They don't.
Messi doesn't have the chip, so it's going to be interesting to see
Mbappe?
what happens.
I don't know
here.
if I agree with Rubio on this, by the way.
Of what?
Really? Letting the IRG terrorists into our country, bring them on in. Let's do what they do and hold them hostage. And let's interrogate these people. They're not just going to start running around exploding things like that. If they're not going to show up in Pakistan for peace negotiations, let's bring them to America. Let's talk with these IRGCs. Let's show them how great.
Yeah, but I just feel I think it's dangerous too, because you're gonna bring, like, let's say they travel with like top 20 people back, 20 soccer players. They're gonna interview them. They're obviously gonna get asked questions about the IRGC. You know, those guys, like, the words that come out of their mouth can get them killed when they go back. I think it's
Well, how many? I would agree with Manny.
I don't want any IRGC imposters here to slit their throats for losing in an American hotel. Wait till they get back home to Iran. And
Yeah, let them
They're
know.
already here.
But I just think it could be dangerous. Meaning, as an athlete, this is going to be in your face, and the camera's going to be in your face all day. All they're going to ask is, so how do you feel about the people that run your country? What are they going to say?
Let me get to the next story. So, by the way, while this has happened, the president comes out. Iran was going to execute 8 women, and Trump says Iran won't execute 8 women after he pleaded for their release. And this story comes out in social media is like, these are AI women. These are not real women. Is this it, by the way? Is this the story, Rob?
this is the president, yes.
Go ahead, Rob.
The military operation, whatever you want to call it, and they're coming to us. The problem they have is they are very disorganized right now. Well, now yesterday, and I was very pleased with this, 8 young women were going to be executed yesterday afternoon at 6 o'clock, and I asked them, call it a favor or call it just a moral request that they not be executed, and they came back with an answer that they won't be executed. They're going to release. It was protesting. 8 beautiful young women, very young women, and their pictures in the paper, and it's been a story for a little while, and I saw that, and I said, let's see if we can save them, and it was very nice what happened. So they're not going to be, what they're doing is, as you know, they're releasing 4 of them very shortly, and they're going to keep 4 of them in jail for a period of 1 month and release them, so they won't be executed. Yeah,
So if you're asking for...
Vinny.
I mean, first of all, he's reporting. They're obviously in communication. He's saving. Like, let's just, regardless of how you're feeling, and people are going to be BS AI. It wasn't AI. They're actually women. He's saving these girls' lives. And then Iran, the IRGC, obviously, Reuters reported. They're saying none of it was real. Of course, they're going to say that. Like, you really think that regime is going to come out and say, yeah, we were going to hang all 8 of these women until Trump said something. It's like, give me a break. And here's a part that people are missing. Even if you take Iran at their word for a second, which I don't, Trump's still putting it in the spotlight, which matters. Now these girls' names are out there, and it's public, and everybody knows about it. And by the way, these regimes don't like attention when it comes to that. They don't like pressure. The second the world is watching, they start moving different. So either Trump stopped something that was going to happen, or he forced them to back off quietly, and now they're saving face. It's like you have to admit at least something positive happened, especially if it's true.
There's a lot of specificity in his story. It's obviously true. It's nice that he cares. He's been outspoken about the people who are going to be executed for some time. It's been going on for, obviously this isn't the only isolated incident of people being executed in Iran. And I think he's put in tremendous work to try and continuously try and save those people. And it's weird that we're at a point, by the way, this is something that's odd to just hear, where people are like, well, I don't believe Trump, I believe the IRG. You're an American living in the United States, and you're choosing to believe a radical regime that's massacring its own people over our own president. Like, how did we get
That's
to
how much
that
they
point?
hate, but that's the Trump dude. That's how much they hate him. That automatically they hear that story and they go, he's full of crap.
I don't think so, because there's people even on the woke right that are saying this is fake. I don't think this is just a left thing. The TDS people, I expected. I don't think that's ever going away. That's going to be around. The part is when the conservatives,
That's scary.
who voted for him, who are like, no, this is fake, he's just doing this. There's so much of that today. Which, will be interesting what will happen the next 2 years. I'm actually curious, a lot of these woke right people, how they're going to react in 2028. I wonder what hat they're going to put on, what mask they're going to put on, what mask's going to come off or come on. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in 2028. I have my own speculation what I think will take place. But Adam, your thoughts?
Oh, the IRGC spared these 8. They're such what sweet people they are. They spared these 8 women. Guys, forget about the 50,000 people we just killed. How long ago was that? I'm old enough to remember that was 2 months ago. Oh, they're so sweet. Oh, this is a PR stunt. And I'm not sure if Trump fell for it or whatever. Much credit to saving 8 women's lives, if they actually saved them. But let's not forget, these people are willing to kill their own people in mass scale. I don't know if we have time to show this 30-second clip from General Mattis talking about how a full-on autocrat regime will stay in power, and the 70 indicators. Do you have that, Rob? 70 indicators of how an autocratic regime will stay in power. And he says there's one indicator that outweighs them all. And he talks about, are they willing to murder their own people at an industrial level? Can we play this clip?
You said 30 seconds? Go ahead, Rob.
You probably
Just fast forward about 15
make
seconds.
against Israelis, against
Go up a little more.
Arabs. That regime in charge.
Yes, right here.
We have seen one administration after another try to find what I call the
10 more seconds.
fruitless pursuit of the Iranianizing the regime.
This is it
to
right here.
show you how we learn about them. They have a list of what are the indicators of an autocrat staying in power. There's over 70 indicators, and they look at all these things. One of those indicators outweighs all the rest. Will the regime murder their own people at the industrial level? If they will, they're going to stay in power. You have an unarmed population up against a very well-armed regime that is fighting a total war right now. Total war. We're fighting a limited war. The American president a week ago called it a little excursion. But they are fighting for their lives, the mullahs are, because
The point that I was making is, we're this geopolitical thing. How do you solve for some?
Hey Google, what's the fastest way to appear?
You can get anything you want on the internet. So why are we still taking gen eds like this? At Sophia Learning, we have a solution. Sophia offers online, college-level courses that are designed to transfer for credit, helping thousands of people graduate. Use Sophia and get ahead.
Mike Vrabel and the ESPN reporter that he was with 5 years ago. And there's also reports that the woman that he was with, Diana Rossini, her son is named Michael.
After Mike Vrabel.
That's what the internet is saying.
And she apparently asked the question saying after, a couple days after having the kid, 4 days later, she asked, who is the greatest Michael who was an athlete and a coach? Apparently she asked that question. I don't know if you guys saw that one or not. No, you type in greatest Michael, it's going to be Michael Jordan. I'm just saying you got to put her name first.
Jackson.
So, Elon, where are you at with this story? What are you thinking about this story here with Mike Vrabel?
I think in the end of the day, like it's a good example of who you are as a human being versus your ability to do the job. So pretty much that's where I'm at with it, and I think it's good that they took accountability right away. They didn't hide from it. I think that's all you can ask for. But I mean, yeah,
they both took accountability right away.
Yeah, from what I read. Am I wrong on that?
He stepped away, Rob.
He stepped away temporarily. He did.
Stepped away temporarily
in the middle of the draft.
The draft was yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
And they were both married?
Yeah.
They were both married. And I saw a report about the husband. The moment he found out, he cut every account. He called to see the spending of what happened on the account when they were on vacation to see how she spent his money. A bunch of things happened. How do you process this yourself, Vinny?
I mean, I don't know where they're at with their faith and how deep they're. And by the way, I'm not judging at all. I sin. Everybody freaking sins. But to be that big in the spotlight, and you're Mike Vrabel, Super Bowl champ, and all that stuff, you're a role model to people. Besides the organization and your family and her family, it's just, and that's it, bro. The devil is so freaking good. Your life is going great. You have everything. You have all the money. You have all the all the success, and then all of a sudden, it's lust. It's that feeling. It's the adultery, and the top 10 commandments. Not good.
Honestly, I haven't been following the story. I don't want to weigh in here, but he's the coach, and who was the lady here?
She's a reporter, apparently.
And they had a relationship?
They had a relationship.
Okay, and I'm genuinely curious, what's wrong with that?
They were married. Both of them were married.
Okay, so it's a cheating story?
Yes.
Yeah, for years.
So, playing devil's advocate, what's wrong with that? Well, cheating.
What do you mean? They're both
Okay, in the eyes of God, I get it, but does he lose his job because he's cheating? Like, what happens?
There are ethical standards in sports. Okay. Like if people violate certain ethical standards.
Oh, now we're using ethical standards in sport?
I'm just saying.
Now that's what's going on here. The former coach of the New England Patriots, 75 years old, is dating a 25-year-old.
But he's not cheating on a wife.
Oh, so is that
married?
No, we're not using social standards. We're talking about the moral turpitude clauses that are in all the contracts.
No, I don't know the story here. Are we
Tom.
saying that you can't cheat? Is that what this is?
Go ahead, Tom.
Is your job?
I'm trying to recover from what I just heard.
Tom, you're gonna be okay, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. So there are moral turpitude clauses in this. He's in a position of leadership. He needs to represent himself. The NFL does or does not have a women's abuse problem dating back a decade, and until things started popping up, everything from a running back slapping his wife / girlfriend around in an elevator to things that have been going on, and then trying to train their athletes and let them know what cleat chasers are. Go get the bag, baby. You can see all these videos that women put on social media, and then you just see men behaving badly. And a team needs a leader at the front. And the leader at the front has to say, if I'm going to accept the check and I'm going to accept the mantle of being this leader, I have to stand up for some standards. And I can't say that I want to take, $5 million a year to be your leader and your coach, but don't look at my private life that's now become very, very public and messy. Just look at the way I lead in the locker room and lead these young men that are getting great big checks, and all sorts of things can trip them up. I'm sorry. This is a non-qualifier. If I was the owner, I would be like, look, your personal life is your personal life, but you just spilled over onto this, and we need you to be an example to these men, and we need to do this. If you want to do it, and you want to go down to Division 2 and just hide out at some small school and live your life, this is great. But this is the harsh spotlight of the NFL, and you're here.
and I can't have this.
And think about Adam. Think
And
about
it's a moral turpitude clause in your contract, right there.
Yep, in the contract, Tom. And then think about it, Adam. Your team, your organization. What teams he play for? Is it Tennessee?
No,
Patriots.
no, New England Patriots.
Okay, wait. So think about the Patriots. Okay, besides the owner sleeping with young
Taking the mantle
What?
of the great franchise.
You're taking them, the great franchise, number one, and number two, the distraction. You're about to start an NFL season, and listen, that's all they're gonna talk about. That's all they're gonna say. Every athlete, everybody's. So how do you feel about your freaking? Is he the head coach?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you kidding me, bro? Besides the moral part of it, the whole season is gonna be about that. It's gonna be about that. I don't know, Tom. I don't know how long if they keep him or not because that's a huge distraction. It's huge.
But she doesn't work for the team, right? She's a reporter.
No, she's a journalist. Yeah.
She's a journalist, but still.
Well, do you remember? This is my opinion. I don't think anything's gonna happen. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Come check me when the season starts. Because Robert Kraft, I think, has defended him. By the way, Robert Kraft, arguably the greatest owner in NFL, with all the championships won in New England. Do you remember he was accused of getting massages and all this stuff? Oh my God, he's married. He's like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I think he's gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I think slap on the wrist. Hey man, make a public example. Let's go. You took a team to the Super Bowl. You're not gonna fire the coach because he has a inappropriate relationship with the reporter.
It's not inappropriate.
I think they're going to tell him how to handle it publicly,
Sure.
and as long as it goes over well, and again, the accountability factor, people are very forgiving in situations. Like,
Do you remember what happened?
We all
sin. Like, that's my fundamental starting point. Just own it,
Do you remember what happened with the head coach of the Boston Celtics a couple years ago? Ime Udoka. Do you remember that? He had an inappropriate relationship with someone
all right.
that worked
So what time we
in
got?
the company.
11:20.
Now he
Rob,
coaches
do we have
Houston.
any other stories left? Do we have any other stories left?
The only other one was the missing scientists
Oh, that one's interesting, though.
Or Noah's Ark.
Amy one, do you want to go to that?
or Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark is also.
Let's do Amy Eskridge. So go to Amy Eskridge, the scientist. Elon, what do you know about Amy Eskridge?
So
This is one of the scientists.
Yeah, so she wasn't a NASA scientist. She worked in kind of like an alternative type of propulsion. She was working on anti-gravity propulsion. She's from 2022. This story kind of blew over a while ago. It blew over 3-4 years ago when it came out. People didn't pay much attention to it, but Reddit forums were talking about how it doesn't seem like she committed suicide. And her last video that she had before she committed suicide is very weird, where she's talking about being surveyed by a Russian guy, and then all this stuff is going on, her and her ex-boyfriend. The reason this is popular again is because there's been a recent spout of a lot of NASA scientists dying in mysterious ways in a short amount of time, all related to very specific things: propulsion, space exploration, and nuclear programs, which is with high clearances, high military clearances, to the point where it's actually being looked at now seriously. So this is the starting point of it. And I find the story just very weird because it's one of those stories like truth is weirder than fiction in this case. This is something you would build a movie around. Yet here we are looking at this story, and I've gotten to the point with things where like anything is possible. So this is I don't know if this is the video, but you'll see her talking briefly.
And it's so bad. Like, people try to just like you said, brush it over. Bro, yesterday was 13. Did it hit 13 people that are connected?
At Darling's Chrysler Dodge Ram in Augusta, the Declaration of Deals sales event continues this April. Get 2.9% APR for 72 months on your choice of Ram 1500 truck. Plus, get
Plan on killing myself, and then they killed themselves. It doesn't make any sense, Adam. It's not like 3 or 4 people. And I know some people are like, well, that one's not really connected. No, they're in the same.
They are connected. One of them was actually one died, and then the person they worked for, I believe, had died or had some direct connection to a position of power over them had passed away.
Do we have a video of her saying that she wouldn't kill herself and then she?
Yeah, Adam, you have
Is that
one?
the video?
In this video, she's just talking about how weird it is that she's being surveyed. It's her final video.
Which one? This one right here?
I believe that.
32? Play that clip, Rob.
I can learn a new field in 3 months. Name a field, I don't care what it is. Engineering, science,
don't
physics,
believe that's
material
the one.
science, math.
Yeah, it's not
The only other one I can see is 4 minutes long.
And she's
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
This is Amy. That's the one that found deceased.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
but
one.
there's about 12 of these guys that this has happened with. There's another guy named, what's his name? Wilcox.
David Wilcox.
David
I believe.
Wilcox, who said I would not commit suicide in 2022. He went through that as well, and he was another one of these engineers. 4 of them are tied to NASA and JPL. 4 of them are tied to weapon fusion, nuclear, and then 3 of them are tied to security, high-level security clearance that they had. that they were taken out. This David Wilcock. I plan on living not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was 2022, but I mean, Adam, he stayed on message. He hasn't changed.
Is he still alive?
No, he just 2 days ago he suicide.
Oh, okay, so this is 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
see.
Pat, what do you think is happening here?
We talked about this with John Kiriakou. I don't really have an opinion on it, but it's. And by the way, the scientists is not just U.S. There are scientists that are disappearing in China. There are scientists that are disappearing in Iran. There are scientists that are disappearing all over the place. We know about the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951, that the government has been hiding 6,000 patents for years because they were worried about possible competition for oil or cancer. A lot of industry will be disrupted if they find real solutions. So imagine if you're part of a $1 trillion industry in oil, and then all of a sudden there's a replacement. You think they're going to be like, oh, what a noble thing. We no longer need gas. No.
That we have anti-gravity propulsion.
Release it. This is great.
That's great.
Cancer, you mean to tell me we can release it ASAP?
Yeah.
So the fear people have is, that's what's going on. Anyway,
follow
at
the
the end of it, follow the money, yes. Gang, have a great weekend. We will do this again on Monday. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
We first connected on matters of spirituality, metaphysics, philosophy, science, space exploration, astronomy, astrophysics, and etc. And we have remained lifelong friends, even though we have gone through periods of time that we did not speak every day. But that was one of the beautiful things about the relationship. We could just kind of pick up where we left off, and we both really loved that. Important events, I was at his wedding, he was at my wedding. My last in-person visit with him was July of 2025. I will be sharing some of these images and videos that I took during that time. It was a really beautiful time. I got to see him in Nederland, Colorado. We spent time talking, hiking, and actually digging for gems, of which I brought one with me today, just because it's near and dear to my heart, and to have some of David's energy with us today. He was actually collecting all these gemstones for you guys. He was planning to give them out at one of his launches or events. So we spent literally days digging them up from his property, and then actually cleaning them and purifying them so they would be in a beautiful state to be able to use for you guys. So this is near and dear to my heart. It's the only one I have, even though we collected, I think, close to 500 of them. I do have images of that experience that I will share with you down the line. It was interesting because the timing of that visit was when the real spiral started with David. and it was synchronistic because we had, the day before, he got some letters involving some legal issues, which I'm not going to get into some of those specifics of business dealings or legal issues. But he did have a lot of incredibly nuanced and complicated events happening in his life that seemed to pile one on top of another and made it seem like it was an insurmountable task for him to continue his life. And one of the things we did was we went collecting sage on his property and made these sage sticks, and all you new agers and people know that, burning the sage and having the sage around helps clear out some of the dark energy, and we knew that was kind of coming for some weird reason, and we hung this sage up right above his dinner table. And the next day he gets, a really negative letter concerning some business dealings and just more stressors in his life. The reason why we feel so kind of adamant and sure about some of the things that went down is he spelled it out and he told us. And I talked to David every single day from July up until the 20th of this month. We spoke every day, sometimes hours. There's another friend who may come and do a video, may speak, or may not. He's thinking about it. But he clocked a lot more time than I did. He was on the phone for hours with David every single day. And David even mentions him in some videos too, because he's very sick and bedridden. So he actually had the time to talk on the phone with David every single day, sometimes for 8 to 10 hours. I know that sounds unbelievable, but I wasn't the only person in David's circle during that time. And so other people get credit for kind of helping them and coaching them through this rough period. And it's his other friend is his mother and brother were all instrumental during this period. I'm going to read the statement. Basically, the two things I'm going to read for you today did just become public information today, I believe, and I will link to it in the bio. From the Boulder County Sheriff's Department, I believe, because his brother released the final draft version today of their obituary statement, and also released an excerpt of the letter. I have the letter in its entirety. I'll read it to you because there's a redacted, and I can post these later too if people want to see. But there's only a section of the last will and testament letter that was meant to be public, but I will read that for you guys. I'm going to start by reading the family's statement. David Wilcott took his own life on April 20th, 2026, after a long struggle with depression and overwhelming financial debt. His family and chosen family hope this loss encourages more focused attention to mental health care access. David was born March 8th, 1973 in Schenectady, New York. During his childhood in upstate New York, he was a curious, sensitive, introspective child, drawn to reading, science, research, and questions about how the universe works. He spent much of his time journaling and developing a vibrant, imaginative inner life. He laughed easily and had a big heart. He loved animals, meditation, music, journaling, scientific study, and lemon cake. From childhood, he had a deep curiosity about telepathy, lucid dreaming, the occult, palmistry, and predictions of Nostradamus. So these are, I'll just say a personal note, this is around the time that I met him, because he got me reading many of the books that would kind of open my mind when I was that age as well. And we met in, I think it was the summer of, after we had finished 9th grade, going into 10th grade. So the summer after 9th grade. Like many young people, he experienced painful periods of struggle and difficulty. David grew up in a close-knit family that cherished music and art. He was in his first band as a teenager and played many instruments throughout his life. The first band that I was in with him was called Jude and the Sewer Rats. And then later the name was changed to the Sewer Rats because it wasn't thought that I deserved to hold the title of the band name. So it was just changed to the Sewer Rats. And I played bass and keyboards. David's brother was the lead singer, who wrote a lot of the songs, and David played drums. I think we had Andy on guitar, and he's now a professional recording, I think, like metal musician in Brooklyn, New York. He developed strong interests in psychology, spirituality, subjects that would later shape his ethos and vocation. He attended State University of New York at New Falls and received a bachelor's degree in psychology. We kept in touch all through college. I was supposed to go to the same college. For reasons of love, I decided not to. I stayed closer. I stayed at University of Albany, which is close to the town that we grew up in. David spent his life writing extensively about subjects he was deeply invested in. Some of David's most consistent messages concern the importance of focusing one's energy on the service to others and the divinity of all human life, and he cultivated a wide community around him based on these tenets. Part of the reason I'm doing this video today is I want to keep that memory and spirit alive of David and want to have a safe community for all the people that believe in that cause to try for us to come together and try to keep that memory alive.